So, in light of the topic of today's video, only the best, a can of Iron Brew. Now, a lot of you probably know this already, a lot of you probably don't care, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I want to say 2017, maybe 2018, the UK introduced a sugar tax, which basically meant that loads of fizzy drinks, soft drinks, had a choice to either pay this tax if their sugar content was over a certain percentage or reduce their sugar content. Unfortunately, Iron Brew reduced their sugar content. It's now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, 26%. You can probably just see it there. 26%. I think it used to be about 40%. Basically what I'm saying is, it's still nice, but it's nowhere near as nice as it used to be. But it still hits the spot. Right, today's video, my 5 top spots in Scotland. Again, like my Lake District video, this one was pretty difficult because it was even more difficult. It's a country, as opposed to just a national park in the northwest of England. Absolutely love the place, love Scotland. Again, same as my Lake District video, these locations are going to have a landscape photographical stance on them. So again, if you're not into photography, keep watching. That only means that the word photographing and that they look nice. But yeah, this one was tough. What I will say at this stage, a little bit of a disclaimer, is all of these locations are going to be centred around the sort of west coast of Scotland itself. That's not to say that there's other areas of Scotland that are not worth visiting. Scotland is a incredibly diverse country in terms of its landscapes. However, this is just my top 5, and I'm particularly fond of that western area of Scotland. And also, admittedly, I haven't really done a lot of exploring elsewhere in Scotland. So naturally, my top 5 is going to be centred around there. Before we get into it, I just wanted to say a very, very huge thank you for all the ebook purchases, everyone that's purchased my new ebook on composition in landscape photography. Hugely appreciated, and I said this in my Instagram story recently, but even though I'm aware that I've put a lot of effort into it, I know that it's got a lot of value in there. It's still really nice when you guys read it and then get back to me and tell me how much you've enjoyed it or how much value a lot of you seem to have got from it, things like that. It really does mean the world, and it makes all that effort so worth it when I just get people from random countries telling me how much they've enjoyed it. So thank you so much. And I'm still offering I've still got it on the introductory offer rate price. So if you want to buy it, again, like sooner rather than later, or else it's just going to go up in price. But yeah, thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's get into it. Number 5 of my top 5 locations in Scotland is the Isle of Mull. Cracking location. Fairly big island, and it's not too far to take the ferry. The ferry journey itself, I personally took it from Oban, and it is absolutely stunning. Like the journey, you're kind of going past other islands, and there's castles, just absolutely beautiful. And yeah, the island itself is just made for landscape photography. There's like islets, tons of different lochs, beautiful beaches, white sand beaches with turquoise coloured waters. There's one particular area of the island, it's actually a smaller island just off the island itself, called Iona. Really fond memories of that place, somewhere that I definitely want to return, and the seas there were unbelievably that sort of turquoise or blue colour, greeny almost, absolutely beautiful. And what a location to photograph that was. But yeah, the whole island's wonderful, and even what I believe is the main town, Tobermory, a great place to go, just as a tourist as well. Absolute mint, like seafood restaurants and stuff like that. I believe there's a whiskey distillery there. But yeah, for photography, absolutely brilliant and super accessible to get around. Again, it's not a huge island, so you can get around the whole place in a reasonable amount of time and get to some top photography locations. So that's my number 5. Number 4, this is a spot that I've only been to once, And I definitely want to get back to. It's called Glen Affric. It's a glen or a valley, and it's a little bit further east of the western coast, getting on more towards the Cairngorms National Park actually. Absolutely stunning location. Again, there's lochs, but the one thing that the best memories that I've got of this place are the Scots pine trees. The place is littered with Scots pine trees, but the amazing thing is it's they're all kind of remnants of the old Caledonian pine forest. There was like a belt in central Scotland, I guess the whole of Scotland at some stage was covered in the Caledonian pine forest, like Scots pine trees. Whereas now it's just kind of remnants, but Glen Affric's a really, really good example of it, and it's class because it's not dense forest, so you get like just sporadic Scots pine trees dotted about, with like meters space in between them, which just means for photography it's ace because they're all sort of spaced out. It's much easier to compose your images, and you've got this incredible backdrop of mountains. I went, particular time of year I went was around about winter, I can't remember exactly, but there was snow up on the peaks and the contrast was just immense. So yeah, I'd highly recommend it, and I definitely recommend to go in winter. It was just stunning. Some fantastic little walks down there that kind of go through all the little foresty areas and down by some rivers. And yeah, that's somewhere 100% that I want to return. Bit of iron brew. Ooh, top drawer, absolute top drawer. Right, location number 3. This one's a little bit of a double whammy, and it's just because the two locations are really close to each other. And I mean, I visited these two separate locations on the same day. They're like minutes drive in between each other with a car, so I felt it was right to kind of piece them together. But this is an area that's kind of like the northeastern Highlands of Scotland, and they're all quite close to a town or area that's known as Torridon. Really popular spot for landscape photographers, and for good reason. Incredible, absolutely stunning. But these specific locations are firstly a loch called Loch Murray. Absolutely unreal. I'll pop a picture up on the screen here of a shot that I got on the shores of that particular loch with a small little islet a few meters away from me, and then beautiful Slioch in the background. One of my favourite photographs actually, and that's one of my best-selling prints. It's a limited edition print. It's available on my website now. Currently offering 33% off all of my prints. That was a good little plug, wasn't it? Yeah, I love that photograph, and I guess my point is that a lot of you guys really like it as well. But the whole area that surrounds Loch Murray is just spectacular, and I really want to go back to explore it a little bit more in depth. Now the next location that I said was a few minutes away, I said this was a bit of a double whammy. I don't know really what this location is called, so I've looked on my phone. I basically went off wandering, alright? I was headed towards Torridon, to the town, and I was just blown away by this area, absolutely blown away, so I just forgot about Torridon. And I wanted to come up with a name of an area so I could give it to you guys if you want to go. And it's called the Kulin Estate, Coulin. I don't know if that's official. If you look on Google Maps, you'll find it. I think there's a loch there called Loch Clare. That, honestly, like, that place really blew me away. I'll put a link to a video up in the corner somewhere, maybe this side, I don't know anymore. I was just overwhelmed, like I was laughing, like I think it was hailstoning or something. The place was just ridiculous. Again, surrounded by these incredible mountains. I'd say the hiking around there is unreal as well, by the way. But this particular area, the Kulin Estate, was loads of really small lochans, and again, quite a lot of sort of Scots pine trees or different varieties of pine trees just dotted about, creating these areas of incredible foreground to contrast against the background mountains and stuff. Just real raw, stunning scenery. And yeah, this particular area, the Kulin Estate, it was just dead, and that's why I don't know if people really go there, but again, it's somewhere that I definitely want to return to. It is one of the most, I don't know what you'd say, like desolate feeling places that I've been to. and I was just wandering for ages. It was stunning, absolutely stunning, and really can't wait to return to that one. So that's number 3. Number 2, right, again, same as my Lake District video, it was so hard to pick between number 2 and number 1. In many ways, they'd have to be on par, except for number 1's got something special. Anyway, number 2 is the Isle of Lewis and Harris. If you've been following me recently, you know that I'm not long back from there. Absolutely ridiculous spot for landscape photography, and somewhere that I just highly recommend to go. Even if you're not into photography, like I said at the start, it's only if it's good for photography, it only means that it looks nice. But yeah, the history there is incredible. It's got a real feeling of culture. It's amazing to be in like the sort of built up areas like Stornoway, the main town, and actually hear people speaking in Gaelic. And I mean that in the least patronising way possible. It's just amazing. Like, I've never been anywhere in the UK and heard people speak Gaelic. That was really special for me. But yeah, going back to the landscapes, unbelievable. Like I said in the videos that when I went up there, I had to pick out sort of 4, maybe 5 locations when I was there and just stick to them, else I'd have just been legging it around the place with my camera trying to photograph all these amazing locations. So it's all like in moderation, so it doesn't make sense to say if it's big or small. I guess I just thought of that. I'd say it's probably about 1 hour and 40 minutes, maybe 2 hours max from top to bottom, from the Isle of Lewis down to the Isle of Harris. And it's just littered with these amazing locations for landscape photography. You've got like beautiful sea stacks and sea arches with incredible crashing waves, loads of beautiful little covey areas with again like loads of sea stacks, and if you can catch it when you've got this stormy weather coming in that's so often the case there on the island, some of the photographs that you can get are amazing. And then of course, a lot of you guys will know about it already, but Luscantire Beach, which is on the south part of Isle of Harris, I believe. Unbelievable. I think I said it in the video, rightly so, like probably the best place I've ever been with my camera. Maybe there's a lot of things that could have influenced that fact, but yeah, if not the best, then definitely one of. Pristine white sand beaches, blue water, quite like the Isle of Mull or Iona in many ways, and then just this mountain backdrop. It was like a pilgrimage to me, a landscape photography pilgrimage. It was somewhere that I wanted to go for years and years, and to actually have been stood there on Luscantire, unbelievable. But yeah, all the stone circles and stuff, lots of Neolithic history, incredible. And again, can't wait to return. It's funny now with this lockdown, I realised how lucky I was. I remember coming back from Lewis and Harris on the ferry, and I wanted like a full Scottish breakfast with, you know, black pudding, square sausage, potato scones, the whole lot. And they weren't serving breakfast because of the coronavirus, you know, outbreak, pandemic. And I remember thinking, oh, what's going on here? I wanted my breakfast, and obviously now looking back, I realise the seriousness of everything. But yeah, at the time I was just mad for my square sausage. What a location. So number 1, I'd say a very high percentage of you know what this is going to be already, especially given the fact it's not been mentioned. Glencoe. I get emotional just thinking about Glencoe. Is like it's one of my favourite places on the planet. It's very special in a way that words really can't define it. This is, I think I've said before, something like there's something special about number 1 that sets it apart and means it can only be number 1. And the only way I can describe it is that it's inexplicable. And what I mean by that is the other 4 of these locations, I can explain to you what is so special about them, all right? Glencoe, yes, in the same way as the other 4, it looks beautiful, it is spectacular, and it is unbelievable to photograph, it really is. But there's something about the place. And I released a video ages ago over a year ago now. Again, I'll put a link to it in the corner if you've never seen it. And I basically, it was very raw then because it was my first proper visit to Glencoe to photograph it. I did a wild camp there, but something just got me, and I was crying and I was super emotional in Glencoe. And ever since that particular video, has had a lot of views and a lot of comments, and so many people that seems to have resonated with them, that emotion of Glencoe, and the whole glen itself. For me, runs from like the ski fields down near Buccleuch Moor all the way around to like Glencoe village, or just after the Three Sisters. Glencoe is crazy. Like, it is absolutely stunning. Like, what a glen it is. Like, mountains, and the road just cuts through the mountains perfectly, and in the winter you get everything snow-capped. Buccleuch Moor is the most beautiful pyramid-shaped peak that I've ever seen in my life. It's probably my favourite mountain in the world. Across from that you've got Kulin Estate, where you can hike up and you get these incredible views across the glen back to Buccleuch Moor, and it is just unreal. Very fond memories of the West Highland Way as well, which kind of cuts through a little bit of Glencoe and up the Devil's Staircase. Yeah, again, makes me feel emotional. Like, I'd really like to be there right now, but I can't. And many of us are in the same situation. But yeah, highly recommend Glencoe. Even just to drive through it, forget about photography, even just to drive through it, it is a very special spot. So that's it. Today is Sunday the 10th of May, and here in the UK, apparently we're getting an update, a lockdown update this evening. And again, it's just speculation, but a lot of people are speculating that we may be coming out of lockdown a little bit. It may be eased up in a way that, in a selfish sense, that I'll be able to go out and create videos out on location again, and us as landscape photographers will be able to go out and take photographs. But I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm sure whatever they choose to do is going to be right, the correct thing to do, but we'll wait and see. Fingers crossed, in the most selfish way possible, that I can get back out with my camera as of tomorrow. That would be the absolute dream. But yeah, that's my Scotland top 5. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, I'll ask the same question as in the Lake District video. Please comment below this video. Let me know your favourite spots in Scotland. I don't know Scotland quite as well as the lakes, so I'd love for you guys to come up with some locations that I might never have heard of, and that I can get to and vlog and photograph, obviously after the lockdown's done. Particularly want to explore like the northern coast, the northeastern areas of Scotland, Dumfries and Galloway for sure. It's a little bit closer to where I live. And yeah, let me know where your favourite spots are. That'd be awesome. I'll just say again at the end of this video, I'm going to leave my ebook on landscape photography composition on its introductory offer probably for another week. It's been really successful, and again, thank you all so much for your purchases and for supporting what I'm doing here. If you'd like to purchase the ebook, there'll be a link up in the corner. I don't know which side it is anymore. Or I'll leave a link in the description below. And on top of that, I'm still currently offering 33% off all of my prints, limited and standard edition, and I'm throwing the ebook in free of charge for anybody that buys any prints, any size. And yeah, I've had a few print orders as well, so thank you guys so much. I'm really looking forward to sending them out. Anyway, cheers for watching, much appreciated. Comment below. See you on the next one. Stay safe. Out.